Thanks for joining me in the crypto simulation. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about Mubi, Should I Buy? Part 2. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel and you've been following me, please hit that subscribe button. It helps get my videos out to more people. And be sure to join us at the Snack Pit in Telegram. It's a free group, lots of people there, great stimulating discussions, and it's free. And just as a reminder, I am not your financial advisor, and nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. Always do your own research before making any decisions in crypto. In the last video that I made on Mubi, I claimed that the 10-cent level was going to be a significant level because there's the psychological level of 10 cents where people, I don't know, for whatever reason, those whole numbers, 10 and 20 cents, tend to be levels that kind of offer resistance and support. But not just that, we also had the 382 fib here and volume support, kind of a wall of volume support down here. Unfortunately, that 10-cent target was short-lived. We had a wick down to around 9.5 cents that was quickly bought up, and we bounced a little bit only to come back down very violently to where we find ourselves now, just kind of playing around between 7.5 cents and about 8.5 cents. That's kind of what we've been doing all day. And this begs the question of, where do we go from here? We are in the middle of a very strong volume support zone, and you can see all the candles we had back in December, and now we're retesting those areas just above the 0.5 fib. So what's likely to happen from here, and what's my stance on Mubi? What am I doing with it? Well, I'm going to answer all those questions in this video. Now, this is a token, Shrapnel, that I felt has a very similar chart to Mubi, and this is a gaming token. I'm not here to talk about this token. I don't hold this token, just for the record. I don't hold Shrapnel. But what I did is I drew some fibs, and while I technically should have drawn the fib lines from down here, doing so makes for a very funny chart. This candle is kind of an anomaly, so you could definitely make an argument that I should include it, but I decided not to, and I included the first traded candle on the daily. Well, this is a traded candle. The first candle after this opening candle. And if I do that, then the 236 fib would be at 29 cents, the 382 is at 22 cents, and the 0.5 is set at 18 cents. So you notice that Shrapnel kind of, and if I throw on a VRVP in here, you can see that Shrapnel pretty much fell to volume support, and that's where it bounced. And you can see it had multiple touch points on this trend line. It's had a really nice bounce since doing that, but it was in a very brutal bear market up to that point. Shrapnel didn't run as hard as Mubi did. It also didn't fall as hard as Mubi did, but it did run ahead of schedule compared to Mubi. So this gave me some hope that, maybe we're in a bottoming zone right now, even though 10 cents clearly wasn't the bottom. We are at major volume support with Mubi. So if you look here, I could also draw a trend line and connect these points together. There's many ways you can draw trend lines. You want them to have as many touch points as possible. So is this a similar situation? I mean, it looks almost identical to what we drew with Shrapnel, and Shrapnel had a nice bottoming process in this zone. So I mean, that certainly is possible. This could be the bottom for Mubi, but what's the bottom line for me? Now I'm going to tell you my story about today. Today was a really dramatic day for me for a number of reasons, and I made a decision based on a gut feeling and some research to sell my Mubi shortly after I just DCA'd some. And this was not a decision that was made lightly, and there's no way to know how this decision is going to play out. Only time will tell. I can't tell you whether the right decision is to hold on to this token or to let it go. The first sign of kind of red flag for me is just how sharp this downtrend has been while Bitcoin has been pumping its brains out, right? Bitcoin's going up. Most altcoins are, not necessarily keeping up with Bitcoin, but they're maybe going sideways, or if they're going down, they're going slightly down. Mubi's been literally a falling knife. These are the daily Heikin-Ashi candles for Mubi, and you can see, let me turn off the VRVP, it's kind of getting in the way. You can see that it's just, been nothing but down, down, down. And that's not really what you want to see as a sign of a potential reversal. So the momentum to the downside is very strong. And so while I was impressed that we kind of held the line here today, truthfully, I could draw a trend line anywhere. Now, this does have 3 solid touch points. But yeah, so that was kind of the first thing, is just noticing how sharp this decline is, especially in a time where Bitcoin is showing a lot of strength. But that wasn't enough to get me to offload my Mubi. I mean, I've been invested in this since November. So, after 3 months of being in this project, I wasn't going to let go of it very easily. This is the Etherscan chart to show the transactions coming out of Mubi, and you can see these are whale wallets, and you can see that there's been some pretty large inflows and some pretty large outflows into Gate.io or Gate.io 5. I'm not sure what exchange Gate.io 5 is, but I imagine it's just related to Gate.io. Now this represents Mubi that was withdrawn from stake liquidity pools, and this is a large amount that just got transferred 4 hours and 41 minutes ago. This is about 14 million Mubi, and it's just sitting in an exchange now. About 6 days ago, there were 10 million Mubi transferred, and you can just kind of see these inflows into the exchange from the liquidity pool. Now look, people who made a ton of money on Mubi are going to sell, right? They're going to take profits. So this doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it is concerning. Jack Liu is the co-founder of Mubi. There's also the co-founder of Bounce, which you would know as Auction. That's probably the most recognizable name here. ChainSwap and Antimatter. And let's look at these projects and see what they were all about. ChainSwap kind of looks almost a little bit like a predecessor to Mubi. Backed by Alameda Research, we all know who they are or were. NFT Bridge, cross-chain DEX, cross-chain lending, NFT Marketplace, ChainSwap Scan. What happened to it? Well, in this article on Root Data, it says that in quarter 3, I guess this would be, beginning of quarter 3, ChainSwap lost $4.4 million in a hack. Now, there have been plenty of chains that have experienced hacks, so we shouldn't judge ChainSwap just because it had a hack, but it is something to take note of. Bitun was another project that he was a co-founder of. I'm not a huge fan of this website. This is their manifesto. Not a whole lot here. Whitepaper looks like trash. There's really nothing much here. So I don't even know. And launch products coming soon. Nothing here. Nothing to really look at. This is what the Bitun exchange looks like. Completely unusable. And he's also a co-founder of Bounce Finance, known as Auction, which you may be familiar with. This is the chart for Auction on the weekly. Actually doesn't look that bad. Looks like it recovered quite nicely after putting in a triple bottom. So that's a plus. That's definitely something to keep track of. This does look pretty bullish. One moment. Just a little summary of Bounce Finance, decentralized auction platform. And I found it interesting in an article that Jack wrote. He said something about Bounce Finance and this was from, I think, 2021 or 2022. I'm going to show you the quote that concerned me a little bit. So he wrote this in a Medium article where he said, at the beginning, things with bounce finance went very well. Many people tried to use our auction tools and created their own auctions. However, DeFi unfortunately makes it very easy for people to abuse all the auction tools. Some scams showed up on app.bounce.finance and many people got scammed. I received complaints that made me feel disappointed because when someone uses your innovation for bad intentions, people see you as a kind of criminal as well. And I empathize with where he's coming from here. It's not like he created Bounce Finance so that he could scam people. I think his intentions were probably good. But then read the next sentence. Two sentences. But if I did take action on scam auctions, it could contradict with our decentralization values and change Bounce to a centralized, I think he meant place. So I struggled. I don't know, but reading that like last paragraph made me feel kind of uneasy. Basically, his admission that decentralization of auction platforms is so important to him that he felt that he should just sit back and allow scams to happen because it keeps the place decentralized. And that kind of black and white thinking um, obviously points to his very strong opinions. And I've read several of his Medium articles, and he is very opinionated and not afraid to state it. But it just kind of lacks a general empathy for people who are losing money to legit scams on how are they supposed to trust this network if they don't know what they're getting themselves into? So then we come to the multi-bit website, the dashboard, and it's a very nice looking dashboard. Go to the bridge. The bridge looks clean. You can pull up all the different, ordinals, sats, I think, rats, all these BRC20 projects are here, in this bridge. This part looks good to me. You go to the NFT part, it looks like there's not really much here. One supported collection. Staking, as you know, some money has been leaving this pool. Some very large wallets have been withdrawing from it. Farm coming soon, swap coming soon, vote coming soon. And we know from past experience with projects, there's a chance with the projects he's involved with that these coming soons never materialize. I was going through Mubi's Telegram group, and I will say that they do have a pretty active community, and they've got some pretty loyal holders. And the Mubi Telegram, I'm assuming this is one of the co-founders who runs this, just posted that they have I guess something called MOGB, which is a culture coin on Ethereum. And this was pretty recent. I guess they're encouraging people to bridge MOG to Bitcoin using multi-bit. So I don't know much about this coin, but we could certainly take a look at it. Well, this doesn't give the best first impression. MOG is the internet's first culture coin. Wasn't that Dogecoin? Anyways, let's go take a look at the white paper. Nice. And this is coming from the people who brought you Mubi. Then they posted about something called OIP 404, which is the Ordinals Improvement Proposal 404, inspired by Pandora ERC 404, and authored by developers and core at Multibit. So this is something they posted just coincidentally when the price was tanking a few days ago. And this is supposedly going to allow people to obtain fractional ownership of NFTs, making them semi-fungible. I guess the closest analogy I could draw to this is probably what certain companies are doing with artwork, where you own part of the artwork. Couple this with that, really lovely looking meme coin right here. Seems like a recipe for winning to me. And then they mention somewhere along here that, oh, by the way, this OIP 404 isn't really approved or ready or anything yet. So that was just a little bit fishy. But let's take a look at the authors of this. You dig a little bit deeper, and what do you see here? We'll keep adding onto this thread and make improvements to this proposal as well as Mubi Tech. Note that this is a proposal as the ERC 404 standard hasn't been fully vetted or approved yet. Then why even announce it? And why are you announcing it when the token price is dumping? This is one of the proposal authors, Mike Big one coming. When's the Solana blockchain dropping? Panera Bread today was nice. You have to track the steak, Sammy. Not much here about Mubi. I know he's very active in the Mubi community. You'd think he'd have some more information on his page about it. We go back again. We can see the other author, Bizanacci. It's a cool name. There are some posts here, but here's this whole new thing: fractionalized NFTs. Like, NFTs haven't even really taken off yet, and they're talking about making them fractionalized. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't resonate with me personally. And this is supposedly an experiment, right? That it hasn't been approved yet. I just don't know what to make of this. And that's it. The other three authors don't have any information, and I couldn't find out any information about the other developers of Mubi, other than Mr. Jack Liu. So, yeah, what's the lesson here? The lesson is that when choosing a project, it's important to research the team. Even if the team is hard to find, go out of your way to try to find them. Because I don't want you to end up in a situation like me where I lose all faith in a project once I finally discover what's underneath the hood. And I only discovered it because it was pointed out to me. And not only was it pointed out to me, I was too frustrated when I couldn't find this information. I just kind of gave up on it. It's not that hard to find, though, honestly, if you other people found it for me. So, look, you just can never get complacent in crypto. There'll always be something new around the corner. Now, that being said, keep in mind that this is just my opinion. You should do your own research, and if you're holding Mubi, you shouldn't sell it just because I did. In fact, you may disagree with me. Head over to my Telegram. Put me in my place if you feel like this was a mistake to sell, but I had to go with my gut feeling and do my research and do better research than I did back in November when I picked this project up. Do the kind of research I've done with the other projects that I hold. I'm heavily immersed in the like Nova DAO, Doge, Polygon ecosystem. I believe in those projects. I am familiar with the devs on some of those projects, or with the team and the ecosystem. I'm immersed in it, participating in it. And that's the kind of involvement that I feel like, as myself as an investor, I should have. I should know who the team is. I should know what the roadmap looks like. And I should be actively engaged and involved in the community. That gives me more confidence as an investor than just kind of flying by night and trusting that some pretty website and a really popular project that pumped like crazy back in December is a legitimate deal. It could be. I could have just made a huge mistake when I swapped out of it for something else. And I'm not going to tell you what I swapped into because I don't want to make it about that project. I did swap into something else, but we'll do a video on that another time. I don't want to only talk about the projects that I hold on this channel. I want to talk about other projects too. Well, I no longer hold Mubi, but this one was a devastating blow to me because I was very bullish on it and really cheering it on as we approached 10 cents. I was so happy to see it bounce out, but it's been a difficult journey. And I see right now it's back up to 8.5 cents. I am concerned about that whale that moved a bunch of Mubi over to what was it? That Gate.io, right? So I will put some links in the description so you can investigate this for yourself and make your own informed decision as to what you want to do. I certainly wouldn't judge you if you decided to hold Mubi. It could work out great. I still feel like if this doesn't keep going down, Mubi has the potential to potentially 20 to 30x from here, and I am going to miss out on that. if that happens, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I've made my decision and I'm going to live with it. So, um, it's really all I have to say about Mubi. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Telegram. I'll put a link up to it in the description. It's also in my bio. Well, thank you for joining me in another adventure in the crypto simulation. And just remember, nothing that I say in this video is financial advice. No price predictions should be taken to the bank. This is just my opinion and my experience in the crypto journey. And you got to see today kind of me navigate through why I was rationalizing holding this project originally when I was getting some flack about holding it, and why I ultimately did let go of it. And we have no way of ever knowing if this was the right decision or not in terms of like what the price does, but you can know if it's the right decision or not based on what your gut says and based on how you feel. You want to, I sold at a loss, and that is usually a big mistake in this space. But sometimes, if you feel in your heart that something isn't right, you just have to get out. Now that's just what I decided to do. And I'm going to admit I made a mistake by not doing more research on this project beyond the, what's the tokenomics look like? What's the website look like? What's the product look like? I didn't go deep enough with this project because I was heavily immersed in other ones, but that was a mistake and I learned from it, and I hope to not repeat that one in the future. If you like the content in my videos, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and head over to the Telegram group. You want to continue the conversation over there. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.